Voters green-lighted a $31 million bond issue for a new arts corridor in Fayetteville. But now some property owners are being asked to give a little more. KNWA's Andrew Epperson is live in studio to tell us why. Andrew, what's happening?
Well, the city is asking for a few feet of land from about 30 property owners along a stretch of West Avenue. This includes the library and Hillcrest Towers. Administrators say they want people to look back at improvements to Block and Dixon Streets and remember why they're asking for the land in the first place.
Primarily, the improvements are pedestrian enhancement, streetscape improvements, street trees.
Fayetteville Environmental Director Peter Nierengarten says the city's incoming Cultural Arts Corridor project will bring needed improvements to West Avenue.
Some of those property owners are very enthusiastic about the opportunity to improve the streetscape adjacent to their property. Others, the conversations are just a little bit more challenging and difficult.
The city is negotiating with property owners to acquire several feet of private property on both sides of the street to have enough room for improvements. Nierengarten says people weren't necessarily aware of this possibility when they voted through a $31 million bond project in April.
This particular property acquisition wasn't one of the specific details that was written into the bond language.
Fayetteville City Attorney Kit Williams says there's not much a homeowner can do other than settle with the city.
We work very hard to try to be open-minded and fair with our property owners, but sometimes you just have to have that land. You don't have any option.
Williams says nothing will happen until the city council decides.
The city council can say, well, we'd really like to have wider sidewalks there and more right-of-way, and we realize it's real tight there. It'd be a lot better with it, but we just don't want to do it. We don't want to, if we're going to have to take somebody's land, we don't want to do that.
But Nierengarten says most people are reasonable in negotiating and are ready for construction to begin.
And you can't make that level of improvements to streetscapes along our streets generally without some level of impact to the adjoining property owners. And we're trying our darndest to be as sensitive to those impacts as possible.
Williams says the city will need to finish getting approval to work on private property before they begin construction on the corridor. He says it'll take a couple of years before everything's wrapped up. Live in studio, Andrew Epperson, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.